Welcome back, YouTube. General Soul back with Lunar Eternal Blue Remastered. And now that we are through Zulan, oh, what's that to our right? Let's check out the town first. This should look familiar to you. We have Meribia. It has existed for 1,000 years. And apparently now it is run by this Loon, who is a master martial artist. Cool. I wonder if Ramus's shop is still around and if it's doing well. I guess we'll find out here. Let's see. So basically, as you're talking to people, they will mention Mel. Some will mention Jessica, but most will compare Mel to Loon. So it's all about like, oh, the town was founded by Hell Mel, but now the best leader we've ever had is our current leader, Loon, type things. Alright, so here is a weapon shop. You can get a better weapon for Hero and for Jean here. I didn't buy anything initially because I wanted to check out and see if there was anything to sell at Ramus's shop that I might want that's better. Go ahead and buy them. These are the best. These are your upgrades right now for these two characters. So I do come back here in a little bit and get those. Oh, we know this shop. Oh, we know this shop. How has this changed in 1,000 years? Oh. Oh, looks nice. Now, I do forget to get a few things because I wasn't looking at my little guide for bromides. There are 3 bromides we can get in Meribia, 2 in this shop. So we will be coming back to get those 2. But this is basically the grandfather, and he looks just like Ramus up there at the top right. That is the current owner of the shop. There's like, and keep in mind, Lamina does mention that this is like the 16th or 17th Ramus, and it's hinted pretty strongly that Ramus has a crush on Lamina. And so he's trying to... basically, the store has become... fallen on hard times. Mostly because the old man, it was a drinker and a gambler. Yeah, so remember this. She's talking about the 16th or 17th Ramus. And every son is named Ramus. Remember that, because... we're going to talk to somebody in a little bit that's going to contradict that. I don't think whoever did the translation was really paying attention to what he was translating to. But there are 2 bromides that we can get in this shop, and I will show you how to get them. after we get another bromide, and I took the time to bring up my guide on where each bromide is and come back to get them. Here is the armor shop, and as you saw in Ramus's shop, you can't buy anything, so that's why I say go ahead and buy the weapons, go ahead and buy the armor. Steel bracelet is better for Ronfar. We have better arm gear for the girls. We have better armor for, I believe that's Ronfar, no, that's Hero and Ronfar, and headgear for the girls. And then, of course, we can get a better sword for Hero and better weapon for Jean. Now, you may have noticed that sword for Hero had an up arrow and a down arrow. What it is you will lose some magic defense with the new sword, but you gain more attack. So I think it's worth making that exchange, so go ahead and do that. You should have, if you've fought everything up to this point, you should have just enough money. You may have to sell an item before you can get both weapons, but you should have just enough money after selling to get everything. Like here, I can't get the platinum fan, so I went ahead and sold the silver sword after equipping the bastard sword, and I had enough money to get the platinum fan. So you should have just enough money. So apparently Ramus's store has had a very hard time. And this is the person that contradicts. So apparently the last owner was Grant and his son Ramus the Sixth. That completely contradicts what Lamina was saying. So I don't know if they're trying to do the unreliable narrator with that guy, that his information is just wrong, or because I would say Lamina probably knows better because Ramus is trying to get with her. And these kids, of course, are playing the 4 heroes. So we're getting the names of them: Loon, Leo, Mari, and Borgen. We have a chest right here that contains a herb. And we'll just go ahead and continue talking to everyone. Alright, so right here is the item shop, and this is the first shop that will sell starlights. They cost 2,000 silver a piece, though. So, if you have the money, feel free to buy some. I'm going to hold off. But yeah, you see that Meribia has changed quite a bit. The old weapon shop is closed up. Rose Street is closed off. The harbor is closed off. There's just basically the main part of Meribia now. We can't explore the rest of the Meribia from Silver Star Story. It doesn't exist anymore, apparently. Now, this guy in blue right here, if you talk to him, he will give you a bromide. So he talks about Jessica here. And he will give you Jessica's bromide. And this is what kind of reminds me, oh, I can get there's bromides to get in here. So I brought up my guide and it's like, oh, there's 2 in Ramus's shop. I need to go back and get those. So, but yeah, he will, just for talking to him, he is going to give you Jessica's bromide. So let's see. And I like these bromides. They look like they did back in the day, but maybe a little older than they were when we played the game. So it's kind of like showing how they changed a little bit since the adventure of Silver Star Story. So if he'll shut the fuck up, I can show the bromide. Yeah, well, she was with Alex and Kyle and Nash and Mia. So, yeah, she had some adventures. But let's take a look at Jessica's bromide here. This is our 3rd one. Not bad. Not bad. She looks a little more mature, a little bit. Still about the same age she was when we had our adventure, it looks like. So that immediately, like, okay, yeah, I need to go back to Ramus's shop, so I'm going to talk to people I haven't talked to on the way over there. I think I'm using this opportunity to bring up the guy. I don't know where the other bromides are. So we quickly will go back to Ramus's shop to get the 2 bromides that I forgot about. Alright, back in Ramus's shop. Talk to Grandpa. And yeah, he's gone back to his first line. Keep talking to him and he will eventually give us a bromide. So you might have to talk to him about 3 or 4 times. So we already listened to that one. This is our 3rd time. She's the epitome of being self-centered. Talk to him again. And this is where we will get the bromide. Yep. I think I'm reading where the other bromide is right now because we're about to get this one. That's why we're going so slow. But that's Lamia's bromide 2 or 3. Sorry. Oh, it was under his bed, really? So he goes to sleep looking at that bromide. I think you could have better taste in women, but alright. Yeah, it's the only thing she really gives a shit about. Money. If he was rich, I bet you she'd be fawning all over him. Alright, so the last bromide in Meribia is in this second barrel right here, Lamia's bromide 2. So let's take a look at this one. Alright. Not bad. Just on the water. Okay. So that's all the bromides we can get for right now. So we're up to 5. We've gone from 2 to 5 very quickly. Alright, let's continue exploring. And, yeah, as you see, no Rose Street. And I come over here and show again, there's no way to the harbor. But there's Mel's Palace, so I guess now it's Loon's Palace, so let's check it out. Oh, it's a dojo now. Wow. So it's no longer a palace, it's a dojo. Alright, well, let's check it out.
Come on, show me your strength. Remember the vow you took when you begged me to take you in. Yeah! 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 You gave your miserable lives to me. I must make something of you, but you must concentrate. Your fist is an extension of yourself. Channel the power! If you think you stand a chance against any opponent with that clumsy display, you'll be dead in a moment. You must try harder. Oh, I did not realize that we had visitors. I apologize for this pathetic lack of skill you had to endure watching.
Yes, well, my name is Jean. We have come to you because you are known to be the martial arts expert. Master Lun, we desperately need your help.
Well, perhaps you are expecting too much of me. I am merely a servant of the martial arts. But enough talking here. It is quite noisy in the great dojo. Please, come this way.
Alright, once you get up to this floor, you have control of where you're going, so let's talk to everybody before we speak to Loon. So we're going to get a little bit of backstory on Jean here. She mentions the Shadow Dragon Fist. Basically, if you remember when we first got her, she had a little flashback. Well, this is where we get told what's going on. There's a group of assassins, the Shadow Dragons, who kidnap children, break their will, and turn them into assassins, and we find out she was one of the people kidnapped and turned into an assassin, but she escaped. Barely. And she is looking for the leader of this group and is hoping Loon can help. To which, this is where we can move on with the story. Loon mentions there's a group of bandits in Tobin's Peak, which is that area to the right that we saw at the beginning of the video, that seems to match very, very closely with what she was describing. And that is our cue to go to Tobin's Peak to see about taking out the Shadow Dragons. So that is what we need to do next. Nobody really has anything interesting to say. It took me a minute to figure out what this was. They're doing a piss poor impression of Beavis and Butthead because that was popular at the time. That's, like I said, that's one of my complaints with working design translations. Yeah, they translate them pretty well. They brought over games that weren't being brought over at the time, but they try and fill it up with American pop culture references, and it's just like, it is dated now. I guarantee you, younger people today that play this game are not going to get that reference at all. Only basically people from my generation will get that reference. Alright, we have a chest hidden back here that contains a dagger. We'll probably sell that later. Let's see what's down here. Yeah, this, Mel's Palace got changed big time. I wonder what Jessica would think. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. We'll head to Tobin's Peak in the next video. If you're enjoying the walkthrough so far, drop a like. Feel free to subscribe for more. And I will see you guys next time as we take out the bandits at Tobin's Peak. See you guys then.